it do, everybody? It's your boy DJ Jewel. This is the Chop Shop Podcast, represented by High Def ENT. This is a special day because this is our first episode, our first interview-based episode, actually. You know what I'm saying? And this guy right here, this is a really good friend of mine. This dude right here is multi-talented. He's been around forever. This guy, producing, MC, director, entrepreneur, filmmaker. I mean, this guy does everything. You know what I mean? He's super, super talented. He's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? This is my boy, King DT. What up, player?
Indeed. What's up, man? Thank you, bro. Hey, like you said, special episode right now, bro.
Yeah. This is big. This is big. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, too, is because in the beginning, when I started this show, you know what I mean? The show represents hustlers. It represents go-getters. This show represents people who are just a master of their craft. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what it is, it's like that's the kind of people that I want to bring on the show just to like hear their backstory. And like, I feel like you are like the definition of what this show represents. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And really what it is, then like me and you, we recently just linked up and became partners, you know what I mean, with High Def ENT.
Right.
But I known you before that.
Right.
And before all that,
way back.
Like you've been doing this for a long time, bro. You know what I mean? And I already had you on the list for this show before we really linked up. I already had you on the list. I was like, I got to get my boy DT. You know what I mean? Because he's a veteran out here. To me, he's a legend out here. He's been out here, always behind the camera, and then he would be on stage rapping. Like this guy would be doing everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. But how you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate this interview. I'm honored.
Yeah.
Honored is like understatement. But yeah, man, feeling good. Excited about. We got a whole lot going on.
It's crazy, man, because like we know each other for so long, and then we've always been cool. We've always had a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And then it kind of just hit me one day where it was like, man, you know what? I really want to expand High Def ENT. I really want to make it to become a real legitimate established company and a brand. Right. That's what I feel it deserves to be. And when it came to like, man, who should I really link up with? And like, you were the first person that came to my mind. Like, you know what I mean? That's and I'm just, I really did, man. And I was just kind of like, yeah. So I reached out to you, and then we've been chopping it up every day ever since. You know what I mean? And we've been making some moves so fast. You know what I mean? And that's cool because that's what I wanted. I knew it was going to be like that. Shout out to Jay Legacy, too. We just recently brought Jay Legacy in. You know what I mean?
Sir.
HD Elite. But I want to get right into it, bro. You know what I mean? Where originally are you from? Are you originally from the High Desert?
I'm originally from Riverside, but I grew up out here. So
okay.
It's like, you know, I moved out here early years, man, like 89, 90, right? And grew up out here, you know? So I literally have seen this place grow.
Yeah. Because like I'm sure like back then when we were younger, like there was really nothing going on out here.
Really nothing, man.
You know,
really nothing. You know, it's funny too because everybody does the whole outside. We outside. No, we were really outside, like for hours at a young age too.
Yeah.
Like all, you know, the sun goes down, street lights come on. You know, you got to be back inside. You know, but that's how we
and
grew
back
up
then,
here.
you know how it is now. Like kids. You know, they're real stuck on their phones or the video games. Like, we had video games back then, but we weren't, like, stuck on the video games back then. We, like you said, we were outside, bro. And there wasn't much outside out here either. We had to, like, find things to do.
And get in trouble.
Get in trouble. That's what I'm saying. A lot of it was, like, we got in trouble because there was really nothing else to do out here. Man. You know what I mean? But that's cool, man. Like, you know, you being out here in the High Desert for, you know, probably majority of your life, you know, and like you just said, you've seen it grow. How do you feel about how the High Desert is evolving, like right now, since, you know, from what you could remember?
The culture is definitely changing because, you know, there's a culture everywhere you go, right? So the culture of the desert, I would say, was a little, I guess, behind. I don't want to like say behind, but definitely not where it's at now. You feel me? And you know, like I said, yeah, I have grew up out here, but I lived everywhere. I lived back in Riverside. I lived in West Covina. Lived in the Valley. Moved back out here. You know what I mean? So I work in LA, working everywhere, like in the IE and Los Angeles and stuff. And so, yeah, that's what you get the first hand of. A lot of people or we would meet people from down the hill or whatever, right? And they'd be like, man, it's slow out here. It's slow out here. And like, yeah, we don't stay up. A lot of times if we're staying up here, we're making our moves the way we make them. Right. But we, for the most part, got to go down to Orange County or LA to like really do something extravagant or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point up here now where that's been changing slowly over the years.
Yeah, you know, one of our other episodes, we were talking about that same exact thing. And we were saying how, like, you know, you got outsiders that's not from the high desert. Mm-hmm. They show up here and they hate it right away.
Right.
But then for some reason, they always end up staying.
Yeah.
Or they end up leaving and coming right back. It's like there's something about the Des that just, you know, that just keeps people here and they don't want to leave and they think they hate it. And then when they leave, they end up coming back. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. And those people, right, are responsible for how it's changing the culture. Like even the fashion out here is starting to change more. The car culture. I, to be honest, because we grew up out here, like for a fact, you know, the car culture has never been super duper popping like that.
Right.
But I would say over like the last 15, 20 years, though, the car culture is starting to step up a little bit up here too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is dope. And it's because of that fact. People who are either not from here or they are from here and they move out and they come back, whatever the case, they bring it with them. So it's pretty cool seeing that. And
you know what? Like I can honestly say, as far as the hip hop movement out here, the hip hop scene out here, you were here from the beginning,
bro.
And I kind of want to get your take on that because look where it is now. Like if you really look at it, it's evolved. It's gone. It's in a good place now. But we were around when it was nothing. Remember that?
Yes.
There wasn't even a hip hop scene.
It was so nothing that if you just knew one or two people who were doing it, it was, oh, you rap, oh man, everybody, right? And we all go to this house party or that house party because it was nobody was doing that. Yeah. I mean, certain people in my circle we were the ones banging on the tables at lunchtime and making beats and roasting each other or like doing little freestyles,
ciphers and all that.
Yeah, but as far as it was not like you know, the movie that we all know now is 8 Mile, right? But it was just basically Eminem's story.
Yeah.
But still, like, to see all that, we didn't really have that out here like that.
Yeah, nah.
We had to make that.
We had to make it, and that's what's crazy, because I remember before the hip-hop thing was really popping off, it was just a rock scene out here. Remember how big the rock scene was? Yeah. Like, it was big. You had, like, Lorraine Drive and those bands, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, like, the hip-hop thing, for a minute there, like, if anybody was out here trying to rap, it was like a joke. It was like people would clown you, like, man, you ain't no rapper. You're from the high desert. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard back then because MCs had to, like, really show that they were worthy of being, like, serious artists. You know what I mean? And it was, man, I remember, like, back then, remember Trilogy Theater? Mm-hmm. Remember the shows we used to on 7th Street?
Downtown,
Downtown, man. See, y'all don't know about that. You know what I mean? This how far we go back.
And that was the spot, too, though.
The spot, bro. Spot. And I remember when we were starting to do shows there, we had to, like, convince the promoters to let us do it. Mm-hmm. Promoters and club owners and venues, they did not want hip-hop at their spot. They felt like, nah, hip-hop up here, there is no hip hop up here.
Yeah,
we had to show them, no, we could bring people, we could sell tickets, we could promote. We had to prove it. You know what I mean?
That was a long time ago.
But
it goes by so fast.
But look where it is now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a hip hop radio station in the high desert, 96.3.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, this is my opinion. I feel like people like us from the very, very beginning helped kick down those doors.
Right.
Because now there's big hip hop shows like at the fairgrounds and, you know, over there at the Adelanto Stadium. But like, now none of that was popping before. Remember? Yeah, like I said, we had to show people that we can get it popping up here.
Yeah, literally from like the underground.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and so I kind of want to get into it, man. Like I'm gonna go back to the beginning because like I said, you're a multi-talented artist. Where
thank you.
Where did it start? What did you start with? Because you do a lot of things, bro. But what did you start with?
I started with acting. Acting, you know, my family and good friends know that that's my first path. I've been acting since I was like 10, really all my life. but since I was like 10, and when I say acting all my life, I don't mean like putting on an act. I mean I can always get in the character of anything at any moment, right? So when I was 10. I made the decision. I told my parents that I actually wanted to be an actor. Then by the time I was like 12, 13, they were taking me to acting classes in Hollywood and Burbank and things like that. I was doing workshops. I was doing, what do you call that, like improv classes, all out in Hollywood, got the headshots. I was going to different talent agencies and book. So what happened was while while I was doing all that, I was still like getting in trouble and being a knucklehead or whatever. So my parents would always be like, you have to keep your grades this way, and you have to act this way, not get in trouble. Otherwise, we're not taking you. Because they would take me every like Saturday from, out here to LA, faithfully though. And so, they were like, all right, if we're gonna keep doing this, you need to get serious about it, stay out of trouble, have good grades and all that. And of course I got in trouble and they stopped taking me. And then going into junior high and high school, going into high school, I'll be like, so what's up going back? Because there was one talent agency I almost got signed to at like 13, 14 years old, right? But I got in trouble, so I couldn't go.
Wow.
So by the time I got back in high school, I was like, hey, mom and dad, can I get back, start going back to the acting classes and all that? I'm like, well, you're in high school now, you need to be in theater, join the theater club. But again, with my circle of friends and stuff like that, not to be mean, like now I'm an adult, I don't want to be mean, but the theater people were like, no, that was not my crowd. Those were like the nerdy people, like, nah, man, I'm not doing it. So that was that. I never got back into acting from that standpoint until, college and doing college theater.
It's crazy. Who's some of your favorite actors that you kind of looked up to, like growing up, that anybody inspire you?
Oh man, Lorenz Tate was always up there.
Man,
Don Cheadle was always up there.
Don Cheadle's dope.
Leonardo DiCaprio is hard to me because like he's not that much older than me, but this fool's been around like forever. You know what I mean? It's like you hear Leonardo DiCaprio and you think he's been around since like the 70s, 80s. Like, no, you know what I mean? Leonardo DiCaprio, of course, you like not to be all cliche, but of course Denzel's. Who else, man? And then with the women, I always liked Lynn Whitfield. She was underrated, but and then Angela Bassett, she's up there.
She's dope too.
You know what I mean? So
you know who I always felt like is really dope is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh man, that dude is. And Gary, Gary Oldman.
Man, he's dope
Daniel
too.
Day-Lewis and Gary Oldman are like those dudes.
You know what I like about
crazy.
those actors? Like those are some of the best character actors. Like those guys could transform to any type of character. It's crazy. Like you see Daniel Day-Lewis being like Abraham Lincoln, and then you'll see him be like completely opposite.
That movie, he was in There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
he was that crazy guy.
Crazy, bro. But you know what? Like those guys, like I look up to them. I watch them, and I'm just like they inspire me because you could tell that they go so into their method acting, and they go so like deep into it. They do their research. It's just like it's just dope to me. You could tell who takes it to another level and who kind of don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Denzel knows how to just like capture you.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I feel like Denzel plays Denzel, but he plays Denzel so well though.
And who's cold now is his son. His son is cold now.
Oh, I didn't know he
What's
acts.
his name? David, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Tenet. He was in The Creator, that robot.
So how did you get into? Were you always like musically inclined? Because you do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it started with so my grandfather, rest in peace, he was always the music man. He always had the melodica. We'd have like bongos and we'd have just percussionary instrument. He'd have shakers. He always had everything. Of course, he had keyboards. So there was where that interest came from. But then I started taking piano lessons at about 15, and unfortunately, I haven't kept up with it as much. I'm always off and on with that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me again. And then so in high school, I picked up the saxophone, and then that added to the arsenal. Then I always been on percussion, drums. Again, I'm not saying I'm like this super cold drummer or musician like that, but I keep up with enough of it often enough, And then doing music there, I've taken, music classes and jazz class. So I study music theory. Like when I listen to, I tell people all the time, I probably don't watch movies like you do or like you out there do. I'm critiquing like, okay, what kind of lighting do they have set up? Oh, they're out in the forest. So how do they have this? They have a fog machine, or was that natural light? So I'm looking at continuity. So when I listen on to music on the radio and stuff, same way, I'm like, okay, like what's the latency at? What's this BPM at? Where's that? You know what I mean? How close or how far was the person from the mic?
Yeah, because you're listening to the sonics of it too. Like you're okay, like this sounds crispy, and the other song really didn't. I do that too, man. And
I know you must do that.
I do that with everything. When I watch films, when I watch music videos, when I listen to music, I mean everything. And I'm not really critiquing.
Yeah, you just pick up on it.
I'm kind of just like focusing.
Right.
I'm focusing on what's going on, what I see, and I'm kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, because you can see like if you play a song produced by Dr. Dre, and then you play another song produced by somebody, you can hear a huge difference. It's like night and day,
bro.
But I don't think anybody really notices that except for people like us.
But they don't understand how revolutionary Dr. Dre's sonics were. Because they, back in the day when we were kids and all that, and they were making all that music, they were putting their house speakers in their cars, right? That's how it was boom, boom, boom. But Dr. Dre was like one of the first people, especially with hip hop, to make that sound come out of your actual car stereo. Like that dude, he's brilliant, bro.
Can you remember when you fell in love with actual hip hop?
When I fell in love with hip hop, I'll never forget, bro. I got in trouble. We grew up in a Christian household,
Oh, you gotta hide it, huh? You had to hide the music,
bro. We had tapes. Like a lot of these kids don't remember the cassette tape. You had to rewind it with a penny or with a pencil. Rewind it and all that, right? So I have tapes of Snoop, Tupac, Ice Cube, and then Redman was later. But yeah, we went to like a school dance, and I came home. I was singing "Rolling Down the Street, Smoking in the," like at 9, 10 years old. And my mom heard me say,
"What?"
She was like, "You can't ever go to a school dance again. Give me any kind of we have Walkmans. Give me your Walkman. You can't listen to any of that." I'm like, "Dang, man. All right." So I'm like, just at school, everyone's talking about this and that. Like, "Oh, did you see it? Did you hear that?" No, I'm like a nerd. I'm not allowed to listen to that kind of stuff. They get mad, right? So what started happening was, well, let me hear what you got, man. And then people would start sharing it, and then I would just start collecting it, put it in the top shelf in the back of the closet somewhere. Yeah. My parents are like gone somewhere. They're at work, whatever, be listening to it, like, yeah, chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself. So it must have been like 4th grade where I was like real, because I was really listening to lyrics. Which is not good, but well, listening and understanding lyrics, like, man, that's crazy how they do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I could relate to that because, like, my dad is a musician. He's a percussionist, right? So, most real musicians, they don't like hip hop.
Okay.
Like, because they feel like hip hop
taken away.
They take away and they sample. They don't play their own stuff. True. Like that. That's kind of like how I grew up. Like hearing musicians think. You know what I'm saying? So he never really liked hip hop. You know what I mean? Same thing. He didn't like it at all. You know what I mean? He didn't want us listening to it. So I was like, I had to hide my stuff too. Really? And it's crazy because I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? Like now I'm a hip hop head. But back then, like my dad, I had to hide it. I would have tapes and listen to it with headphones. I would hear him come home, turn it off, act like I'm doing something. Be like, you know? Exactly. But I loved it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't get away from it once I started listening to it and hearing like the production and just because back then, like hip hop artists was like flawless. Like I remember like hearing like Bone Thugs and Harmony. I remember hearing like Pac and DMX and like the Dog Pound, and I was just like this is something else right here. You know what I'm saying? What made you want to actually start doing it? Like get involved, putting your hands on hip hop?
Well, I would always sing or rap or hum little stuff. Just always, right? Just like every little kid. It's funny because my kids do it. Like, or you want to start memorizing MC's lyrics, right? Lyrics. Like you said, and so repeating other people's lyrics over and over again. I'm like, yeah, but you know how when you do it, you kind of do it your own way. Like you're singing the same song over and over again, but you're like you want to put your little spin on it, right? Like you put your little style on it, whatever. So that was part of it. Feeling like I could do it, and then like years later, just actually started doing it, man. It started for me. I guess battle rapping. Even though I'm not like a battle rapper, but we used to always we'd always like clown each other. Shoot on you, man. Look at your shoes, man. You got dressed in the dark. Right, we would clown each other.
Dozens, huh?
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But then we would start rapping. We would rhyme it and do it. We would just do like little two-liners here and there. Yeah. You know what I mean? This dude is so ugly, and your hair's dusty. The girls clown you because you smell musty. Right. Everybody start laughing. Just like little two-liners. But then we started kind of taking it more serious. Yeah.
The hip hop culture, I feel like is a part of us big time. There's something about the lingo, the fashion, everything. Like it's a part of everyday life, and people don't even know. They don't even realize how
worldwide.
it's worldwide like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way we talk, the way like everything. You know what I mean? The way we live our life. You know,
Right.
sometimes. And like you said that you were listening to lyrics. You know, like back then there was. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was MCs even back then that were rapping about nonsense too. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But there was a lot of substance back then, like Nas and you know Wu-Tang had a message in Pac and you know like all that. You know, Common and Mos Def and all those guys. Like those guys had a message. Do you feel like that's here in hip hop still, or do you feel like it's fizzling out?
Yeah, it's most definitely fizzling out. But because people, and they talk about this too, like all the older cats, like the Killer Mikes out there, some of the Nas's, you know, the older dudes, they speak on that. You know, it's really just about the beat now, right? And then the mumble rap.
Oh, the hook. Mumble the hook.
Yeah, that's it.
You know?
And then so, but it seems like it's starting to do that circle, you know, where it's like, okay, is this, but now it's starting to go back to lyricism now.
Yeah, that's true, because I feel like the ones that really hold the crown are the lyrical MCs.
Right.
Because like you can have like your hot MCs that come out and they're just popping for the moment, but then they just flame out.
Yeah.
But the ones that like really like are like everlasting they're always lyrical. Like the Kendricks, the J. Cole's, like those guys are gonna go down in history as one of the best. Right. You know what I mean? Like Lil Yachty he had his moment. He was big, but look how quick he just burned out.
Yeah, you can only do so much of the
yeah.
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like exactly. Like how much of that can you do? You know what I mean? Like But you know that's cool, man. Like that you've evolved in certain things like that. Like you know with acting and then the directing and then filmmaking and into the music is just like being a multi-talent. Do you ever feel like it's like stressful or overwhelming, or is it just a natural thing because you just love these things? Like
I feel it's natural. I feel also like I have to do it because you know it's like expression, right? So it's like if I don't do any of that, I'm just sitting being bottled up like okay, I gotta go do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, because you know what it is, like a lot of people who are creative, they have these things and thoughts in their mind, and like you said, they can't rest until it comes out. It's almost kind of like therapy. Like you got to really like express it somehow, some way. I do that a lot. Like sometimes I can't sleep at night. Sometimes I have to get a pencil and a paper and just draw something. Like I have to, you know, or even like when I'm DJing, I have to hear certain mixes blend together. I have to hear certain acapellas over this, or sometimes
that's dope.
When I just have to, and it sometimes I feel like it is overwhelming in my mind where I'm like, oh, like sometimes I feel like I get like anxiety sometimes, and I don't even know where it comes from. I'm like, man, I need to do something, you know?
Yeah, right.
But you know that like I said, that's just kind of how it is with people like us, people like you who are just visionaries. Like you know what I mean? When you have a vision, you can't get that vision out of your head. You know?
Right.
Like and so what is it that you envision like now as far as all the stuff that you know how to do? What is it that you envision? Like, what's next? Like, what do you see in the next 2 to 5 years, 10 years? Like what do you see as far as like in your mind, as far as your creative art?
That's a good question, man. You know, for me now, so like I said, growing up in a Christian household, you know, we were always in church and grew up learning about the Lord and all that. And as I got older, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm cool off of that. Like, yeah, I know like the 10 Commandments, I know the Bible, and I know and Jesus loves me and I love him, but I'm just gonna still do my own thing, right? So for many years, I was got in a lot of trouble and did a lot of things I shouldn't have been doing. And then, you know, it comes back full circle to the Lord. And so, what's it called? A lot of everything that I'm doing now is, I always call it a ministry tool. You know what I mean? I don't have to go like preaching, you know, holier than thou. But pretty much everything I do is ministry and giving glory to, you know, the Most High Almighty Yah, man. And so what I do now is for him, but for people. So it's like we're blessing people, right? When we're making music, I literally do this thing where I'm making music because it doesn't come from me, right? It comes
spiritual.
It most definitely comes from the Lord, like period. Like, so I want to, how that comes on me, like I'll go to bed with a beat in my head, and then I'll wake up with that same beat, and I'm like, you just can't get it out of your, like you said, you just can't get it out of your brain. So I go, okay, let me hum it real quick or record it. Let me go play something real quick, and I'll lay it down, and I'll come back and mess with it. So that feeling, which again, I give him all the glory. That feeling is what I want other people to feel. You know what I mean? And then when they ask you questions about it, it's like I say, it's a ministry tool, and so. You know, people believe different things and whatnot, but when people do understand is the spiritual aspect of it, you know?
It really is.
You know, and so when we link the spiritual part and say, well, you know, the Lord is the one that's doing this, and he gave you a gift, and he gave you a passion, and you need to be inspired, and you don't have to take the same route that you see everybody else taking, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah, that's interesting that you said the spiritual thing, because I've been preaching about that for a minute. Like I've been expressing just people I talk to, like even like when I DJ, there's a spiritual connection with the crowd.
Oh yeah, I heard you say that on Berg's show.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And even that, and then everything, like even like when I do art or like the music or even like creating content, you know what I mean. It's a spiritual thing that is definitely present.
Right.
Definitely, like I can honestly say like I felt something like from a higher power, like, you know what I mean? Like that's just my perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I'll be honest with you, man. Like growing up, I was good at a lot of things. Like I had a lot of talent doing stuff, and I used to hear it all the time. People be like, "Oh, you're just gifted. You're blessed." Like I used to hear that all the time, which could be true. You know what I mean? But I do know one thing: how much time and effort I put into my craft. And that's big. See, that's what people got to understand. Major. That's what people got to understand. You could be gifted all day, but what are you gonna do with that gift? You gotta put in the time. You know how much hours and years I put into whatever it is I'm good at. Like people think, like, oh, he's just good at everything. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna accept that because I put in so much time into this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You weren't there when I was grinding it out.
Yeah, like how do you feel about that? Like do you agree with that?
That's
or do you feel like it's kind of like a natural thing that, you know?
No, you gotta it is definitely both. That's what they used to say about MJ and Kobe. Like, bro, they were okay, there's some people who are naturally talented and they don't have to work as hard as other people. But then there's some people who are not as talented, so they gotta work extra hard. You know what I mean? To even be able to keep up with the ones that are, you know, talented.
True.
So imagine being naturally talented and working hard. Deadly. Like no one's gonna touch
That's dangerous.
You know, and that was Kobe, and I was, you know, so it's like, yeah, that's in sports, art, even if you're an auto mechanic, you know what I mean? Like whatever the case, you put in that work, you're definitely gonna supersede everybody, you know?
Yeah, because honestly, you know, if it was me, man, like whenever I gotta go off of somebody, if I had to decide whether I go off of their talent or their work ethic, I think I would pick work ethic over talent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like work ethic can get you the talent. Like if you work hard enough, you can develop something.
Exactly.
I ran into so many people, bro, that got so much talent. And I'm talking like God-given talent, bro.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the drive and the work ethic. And I'm like, man, I'd put my money on the person who has that drive over just the talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like, what was that movie? Bronx Tale.
Oh, yeah. Bronx Tale? I didn't see all of it.
Okay. Well, Bronx Tale, like he always tells him, like, there's nothing, you know, worse than wasted talent. Like he kept telling the kid over. And that's true. You know what I mean? Like, you can have the talent, but what are you going to do with it? You got to make it happen.
Right.
You got to develop your craft.
Right.
You know, that's what this show represents, is the people who do the extra time and the extra work like that, like waking up in the middle of the night when you feel inspired and lay something down. As far as like directors, who, you being a film guy and a director yourself, who's your GOAT?
Man, that's a hard one too.
There's so many, you know, like
because even like the Coen brothers, like the Joel and Ethan Coen, they are. I mean, there's two of them, so you can't even pick them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but their movies are always crazy, man. Of course, you know, Scorsese. Of course, Quentin Tarantino. You know,
ain't no one like him.
Yeah, man.
You know when it's his film, you could just tell, like. He has his own style.
It's crazy. And so Guy Ritchie is dope too.
Oh,
man.
Guy Ritchie's tight, man. What is that one? The Italian Job?
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that was his film too. That was a dope one.
Yeah, you know, he has he's probably more known for like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you know, and so those are classics too, man. Yeah. So, dang, that's a tough one. I wasn't expecting that question.
Yeah, because
I'm thinking about movies. Like, what movies do I like? You know, and then you got to go down the list because Steven Spielberg is in there. I wouldn't say he's not one of the GOATs to me. That's just like almost like a cliche, you know?
Well, yeah.
But one of my favorite movies of all time is E.T. though, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So...
And I feel like most directors are trying to reach that Steven Spielberg level. Because he's at the top.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And even that, he might not have like the greatest movies, but it's just that status. Everybody's trying to reach that Steven Spielberg status.
What was the one they did last year, the Fablemans or whatever, was like about his life or whatever?
Yeah.
Fablemans, I think, yeah.
Yeah, see, like, you know, directors are artists too.
Yeah.
Completely. Like they paint, they're like painting on a canvas, you know? But like...
That takes some skill, man. You have to really be in the industry.
What about music video directors? Because remember back in the day, like music video directors were starting to become big just as much as the artists were.
Probably off top, it has to be Hype Williams, right? Yeah, I'm like, I mean his stuff was revolutionary, and he did everybody's stuff.
And then he did the fisheye lens effect,
you know,
and everybody would kind of duplicate that a little. They tried, you know, but like Hype, man, what happened to Hype? Like, does he still do it? Because
I know
he was the guy.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like the most iconic videos of all time comes from Hype. Like, were you inspired by Hype?
Yeah, bro. Like the thing is, see, to me, what his pinnacle, because we have to pull it up to look at every music video he did.
It's crazy.
To be accurate. But to me, where he really reached that level is when he did Belly. You know what I mean? And that's like one of the most, that's crazy how that's a classic. That came out 25 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
I love that movie, man.
It's like that movie right there.
That opening scene?
Dude, that movie from an artistic, cinematic standpoint was
cinematography crazy,
groundbreaking, bro.
Crazy.
There wasn't really anything like that, like for a hood movie like that. You know, a black director telling a black story like that movie was crazy. That's something. Again, that's like a Scorsese type thing.
It is, and it makes me think, why didn't he do more films?
I don't know, man.
Like, that movie was so groundbreaking and epic, and it's a cult classic. Like you know what I mean?
And just the grittiness,
the gritty. The soundtrack was crazy too.
I've seen
the score, like if you go back and watch the movie, the score of that movie, like, that whole movie is just dope. Like, why didn't he do more films?
If he would have stuck with filmmaking, he would for sure.
He would have won some Oscars, bro.
Way up there.
Easy.
But you know, I like Antoine Fuqua too.
Oh, man.
You know,
he's working the new Michael Jackson movie.
Yeah, see, so he's up there too, man. He hasn't really done a whole lot of movies like that, like notable movies or whatever, but his style is dope too. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he did Training Day.
Brooklyn's Finest.
Yeah.
He did another one. There's another one that I recently found out that he did. I forgot. See, I wasn't prepared for this. But no, if I found it out, but oh yeah, that's the one, right?
Yeah. No, you know who I've always liked, and I still like the recent stuff, is the Hughes brothers.
Oh yeah, they're up there too.
Yeah, the Hughes brothers. Like when they did Menace to Society, and then Dead Presidents. You know what I mean? Like, but there is these two documentaries that Alan Hughes just dropped. Well, not just dropped, but the two latest ones I've seen. And to me, they're like the greatest documentaries I've ever seen. As far as the cinematography, the production. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called The Defiant Ones. With Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah.
That documentary was flawless.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
And then
that one was dope.
He did that Tupac Dear Mama one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? Man, blew my mind, bro.
Yeah, that was
the way that he puts in music with his production is like groundbreaking. You know, because like that Dear Mama documentary, I was watching it and I was stuck, bro. I was blown away just about how he put this thing together.
Yeah, I think my wife and I watched that one in like a week or something.
Yeah,
maybe not that fast, but yeah, it was. Yeah, that was crazy, man. You know, because doing documentaries is like it's the same as making a actual feature film or a fiction, nonfiction, whatever. But it's different too at the same time.
Yeah, are you a documentary guy?
Yeah, yeah, I really am. I done one. Oh, I gotta get up. I don't want to say anything about it.
Man,
Yeah,
let it out, man. This is it right here.
No, I can't spill the beans on that one.
No, that's good.
Because it's old. But yeah, no, documentaries, those are what's up. There's this one called The Grizzly Man with Timothy Treadwell, and he would live with grizzly bears and swim with them and sleep in the forest with grizzly bears.
Yeah.
So he got attacked and killed by one on camera, and they recorded it. But in the documentary, they don't show it. Now, I know that sounds graphic or sadistic or whatever.
You're like, I want to see it. We want to see him get
because
eat up.
in the documentary, they show people reacting. They're listening to the sound, or they're watching it. Oh, this is so horrific. Oh my, right? And but like, so why would you listen to it and show us yourself reacting to it, but not? You know what I mean? So it's either don't show your reaction, don't listen to it, or show what happened. You know what I mean? Man. But that documentary was crazy.
Yeah, because I'm a big documentary fan too, man. Like I love documentaries, especially now, like with the way that Netflix just kind of took over everything too.
Yeah,
there's so many documentaries on there, and you could tell like they invest so much money into their own documentaries, their own Netflix, and like because they know like people love documentaries too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do you feel like that took away from the whole movie theater experience?
Oh no, because movies aren't good. I tell people that all the time. And then we have so many streaming platforms. We got Tubies and Freevies and Roku and Hulu and Blue and Doodoo, right?
But what about the actual experience of going to the
That's
theater?
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's
still there.
Yeah, that's never gonna go away, bro. Especially if they market. Yeah, especially if they market it right with like whatever big movie. Like, what's the big movie that just came out? Right? What big movie can you think of that came out right now?
I would say that Top Gun Maverick one kind of saved the business a little bit.
Okay. And then they have the new Dune, right? Which that first one, not the original one from the 80s, the one with Timothy, that kid, Chadwick, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That last one was dope. I still haven't seen Dune Part 2, but I think that one is going to be pretty epic, the new one that's out now. And so, and I like the little remake they did of The Color Purple. That was pretty good.
I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to check that out though.
Yeah, so it's like,
it's a musical, right?
Yeah. So depending on how they market it, the movies aren't going anywhere, man.
Yeah, because man, like I love going to the movies.
Yeah,
like, I love the whole experience. Going to the to the window, buying the tickets.
And there's really a lot of people like that. Like you might not think that because of the streaming and all that. No one goes to the movie, or people just download it real quick on their Fire Stick or however way they might get it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that still go out to the movie.
I love everything about it. I love sitting there and watching the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that whole experience. I'm like, I really hope that it doesn't just disintegrate. I really hope that it sticks around forever because I love it, man. I love taking my kids to the movies. Like it's so eventful, Right. It's expensive as hell though. Like for tickets and for some popcorn and some candy, bro, you're looking at like
depending on how many
a lot of money, bro.
Yeah,
and I'm like
close to $100, depending on how big of a family.
But when you're from the desert, you sneak in your own candy, your own McDonald's. We used to buy McDonald's and sneak it into the movie theater.
The homie brought a Little Caesar pizza into the movie theater.
Oh damn, that's the mall. Yeah, that's bold right there. Man, how you sneak that in? You know what I mean?
I think he just walked in. He just walked in with it, or however he did it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I love it, and you know what else I miss too is the Blockbusters. The Hollywood Videos experience.
Man.
Remember that? Like how popping was that on a Friday night, bro?
Yeah.
What was better than going to a Blockbuster and like
taking it back?
You know what I mean? See, these kids are missing out, man. These kids are just like, I hate to say it, but your guys' life sucks. It sucks, like
they got it all on their phone now.
It's on your phone. I'm like, man, it was so popping, man. You get a movie and a game,
bro.
A soda, like,
man.
Oh man, it was nothing.
And then you'll pick one up sometimes, and the last person that had it didn't rewind it.
Yes. It's all messed up.
Disrespect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, but of course, you know, you better bring it back in time and get those late charges. You know?
Exactly.
And when you go back to get a new one, you got to pay that late charge.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the Play It Loud show. You know what I'm saying? Like when did the idea of the Play It Loud show come about? And if you could explain it to the viewers and the listeners, like what exactly is it, and what's the vision and the goal of the Play It Loud show?
So the Play It Loud show went through phases, and I say this on the show. So check it out, youtube.com/Take That Pro. Yeah, on the show, the Play It Loud show, I always shout out Jay Legacy because we had that idea years ago where we wanted to do like a Rap City, the basement type thing, or like a 106 and Park. Not so much 106 and Park. That's too like Hollywoodish glitz and glam. We wanted like a
TRL.
We want like an underground kind of grittier. Invite people, interact with them, and do music. And then we always ended up doing a freestyle session at the end, or the person would do their song that they had that was a single floating around. So that was how it was the world famous Play It Loud show. And it was world famous because this was back when YouTube was not big like that. See, everybody, all this stuff that's out now, we're just so used to it. But back in like 08, 09, people were just figuring out YouTube.
And
right?
you guys were one of the first guys to be doing all this media stuff that's popping off now. Like, shout out to Jay Legacy all day. And you, man, like I said, I used to see you guys way back in the day with the camera and doing all that, doing interviews and all this. Like, you guys were way ahead of your time, way ahead of your time. Yeah. Is it trip you out seeing it how it is nowadays?
It makes me very mad. Because it's like, bro, even before that, we were doing prank videos in high school. We were doing like almost like reaction videos.
You guys were making reels before reels were popping, huh?
Like literally. And
wow.
and like I always say, like if I move back, man, we were doing this way before. Like when you start talking like that, then it either sounds like you're bragging or like you're bitter. Right? So you can't even really do that. But
facts.
There's we have a lot of authenticity and witnesses behind it. Like we were doing
I'm a witness.
Basically in podcasting. Podcasting was not a thing. Right? And we were doing that first. We were man, the homie, shout out to Spartacus. We were hosting rap battles and filming them and doing like little circuits like before any of this stuff, man. So that's how the Play It Loud.
You guys were doing all that. I remember seeing all of this stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I wanted to bring, you know, the film production into high def ENT, I wanted to reach out to you guys first because I feel like you guys have been doing this for so long and you guys have so much experience in all that, and you guys are visionaries, you know. So it's kind of like, let's kind of talk about that little partnership that we've recently just kind of put together. Like,
okay,
the vision of high def ENT. What you guys don't know, if you guys do know, High Def ENT is a brand and a company I started probably back in like 2009. Started off, you know, kind of like a little independent label, you know, developing artists and all this stuff, doing videos and putting out mixtapes and albums and the whole thing, you know. And then, you know, had the DJ production in it. And like I said earlier in the show, I wanted to evolve it, you know, and this and that. And we recently just became partners. Can you kind of break it down to this partnership that we have recently just put together and the vision of everything that we have been talking about and working on?
Man, it's gonna be dope, bro. That's the first thing. The partnership's about to be dope. Well, it's so much because we know the inner. I'll give like the shortest version I can because the people on the outside don't fully know what we have going on.
Right.
We have DJing, we have music production, we have video production, we have catering, we have events, we have
artist development,
we have designs, graphic designs, shirt printing. Shout out to the homie Mantis, man. So we're putting everything together. Like I said, I've been kind of loosely calling it a media group. That's what I tell people like at work and stuff, people who I see and I saw the thing you posted on IG the other day. Yeah, we're starting this media group, I guess. I don't know. But like you said, it's an entire conglomerate, I guess. And man, without giving away too much, we just so we have our shows, we have our programming lineup, which is this is one of them, the Chop Shop. We have Ferocious Fridays. Shout out to HD Elite. And we have the Play It Loud show. We also have upcoming shows. So we have Lyrical Perceptions coming up through HD Elite. We have
Taste This.
Taste This. It's gonna
Cooking
be.
show.
Oh, I can't wait.
That one's gonna be dope.
I wanna be on that one, man.
I want to be a taste tester. You know what I mean? If I'm not cooking, I just want to taste the food after
Yeah,
it's
man.
done.
Like, man, wait till that one, man, because you guys have been seeing little reels, I'm sure, from Taste This, and so yeah, man. And then we have actual like events. So like we're getting into events. We're getting into like community cleanups, community work. We're getting into quinceañeras and weddings and just events, you know.
Yeah.
But again, film is definitely going to be incorporated in there. Other little skits, other projects that we have. So just stay tuned, man. It's going to be literally a one-stop thing
Shop.
for all. Yeah,
For that. Yeah. And it's not even just locally for the high desert. It's for anybody. Like we want to do the full takeover. But of course, we're here in the high desert, so we're gonna utilize us being here and all of our resources and our relationships. We're gonna do the damn thing, you know.
Yeah, right.
But as far as that, like we're gonna branch out.
Oh yeah,
and just
I got people at work. You know, I work in the entertainment industry. I work in LA and Hollywood a lot, and so I got people already asking, already curious about stuff. You know, so it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be crazy. A lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna expect a lot of films. Like we really want to get into the film industry and start writing our own scripts. You know, doing our own screenplays and doing our own casting calls. Like this is what's coming. I'm letting you guys know that right now. Presented by High Def ENT. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a new partnership that we're coming together and we're gonna just make it happen.
Yeah, man.
And with the films, like you being in the film industry for a long time, and what's your approach to when you're starting a new project or a new film or a script? What's your approach? Like, do you kind of just go off what you feel, or do you have like a theory or approach of how you go about these projects?
Well, cause like I said earlier, you know, being in film school, taking a lot of television broadcasting, radio broadcasting classes. They teach you just the essentials. You know, I've read several screenwriting development things, and so a film is just a story. It's a visual story. So just like in the ancient times when Native Americans would sit and the elders would tell the story about how their people came to be, or if you read ancient Chinese stories, even the Bible, like they're sharing stories, right? So a movie is just a story. So every story, whether it's a movie or a novel or a play, like an actual play that you go see, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's it. And then you go, they say the three most important things you need to keep in mind when making a movie are location, location, location. So you have your beginning, middle, end, and you have your location, and then you just go from there. So whatever idea you have, there's really sky is the limit as far, especially now with the technology and green screens and AI.
AI is crazy
out of
right
hand, kind of. But so yeah, I always like, okay, what's my idea? What I want to tell a story about? Okay, boom, and then okay, I got it. This is gonna be the beginning. This will be the middle. This will be the end. They call it Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, with your plot points changing, and then you just put it together. You write it out, and then you put it together. So. And shout out to OL Storytellers, man. We linked back up with them recently, man.
Julian, what's up, man?
Yeah, we recently linked up with him. He's got some future plans with that company too. So we're gonna be in the mix with them as well, man.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I think I'm more excited about that than anything because like we've done the music thing for a long time. I definitely have. Like I love it. I'm always gonna do it, but like I'm ready to like get into the other side to really like we said, like the behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Because like we know how to be in front of the camera. We've been doing that for a long time, but you know, I love being behind the scenes too, you know what I mean? And just being creative and all that. But like, yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm excited for that. I'm excited till we decide what project that we really want to like start writing, and then like let's go out there and go get it.
Yeah, man.
You know, because like we have so many ideas. That's what's crazy is like we get together and then we just constantly just talk and idea and this and this and this and just brainstorm. That's the best part, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like it's just I love being around creative people because there's no like right or wrong answer. It's just kind of like, hey, like,
Right.
no, that's dope. Let's try that. Like I said before, like not to be afraid to try ideas. You know, a
Right.
lot of people are like, I don't know about that. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
try it. If it
Yeah.
works, it works. If it don't, it don't. You
Yeah,
know?
man. That's the whole point. Like you say, being with other creatives, man. You bounce ideas off each other, and then what goes, what works, stays, and what doesn't work gets tossed. But then you just keep doing that until you
Yep.
have the full thing, and then go from there. Get it done. Get it done to all the young people. Shout out to Serrano High School too, because with their multimedia academy, I haven't spoken. I used to go out there and speak to their kids, their students, because they have a program out there that does that. And I was doing that for a couple of years. I haven't gone the last 2 years I didn't go. But shout out to them because they have an actual program in their high school that we never had.
You said that's Serrano High School?
Yeah, that's Serrano.
Wow. See,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good segue, man, because I was just about to ask you, like, for an upcoming film maker or even that, like, in the industry of video content production, even what you do, because you're a producer too. This man makes beats, yo. Like
Yeah.
dope beats. Like he's a producer
Thanks,
too,
man.
man. That's what I'm saying. Like for a young up and coming artist that wants to get into that whole creative realm, right? What would be your advice for that person that comes to you and it says, I want to get into this? What would be the first thing that like that I should think about or whatever? Like what would you say?
Well, you got to pick that one thing that you're talking about and then start it and then stick with it. Don't worry about how fast other people are going, how slow it seems you're going, or if
That's
things
good
aren't
advice.
happening. You do that, you pick that thing. So whether you're into cinematography or if you're into, grip, if you're into setting up sets, production design, or if you're into acting or writing, pick your one thing and stick with it, man. Like it's gonna pay off. And like we said with the work ethic thing, have that work ethic. You can't teach work ethic. You can teach someone how to stand in front of the light, keep your neutral back straight, hi, and use your speaking voice, right? You can teach all that, but you cannot teach work ethic. So
that's
whatever
real.
whatever it is you want to, whatever avenue it is you want to go, as far as the performing arts or the production period, just pick it and stay on it. That's it, because you will see the results of it.
Yeah, man, I love that, man. And it's really like I always say this to people all the time. How bad do you want it?
Yeah, right.
How bad do you really want it? If you really want it that bad, you'll stick it out because it ain't gonna be all glamorous all the time, and things aren't gonna go right. Like how you think. What are you gonna do in those moments? Are you gonna just throw in the towel, or are you gonna say, okay, I learned from that mistake. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it again. Like that's the work ethic that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so important with this industry because not everybody is made for this entertainment business. Not everybody is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like those people are made out of a certain cloth.
Yeah.
Either you got it or you don't. And a lot of it is that work ethic.
Yeah, that a lot of it is. And then, like I say, working in the industry the way I have for these past several years, that's another thing too, though. So it's like, what does it mean making it in the industry? Because this industry is not. I don't really want to fully speak on it, but basically, like we live in the era now where everyone has the tools and you have the access to do all this stuff yourself. You don't need to go the traditional route of trying to go audition for things or trying to get a manager or trying to go link up. You can get your friends, put some money together, buy your own stuff, and start going that way, submitting your things into your projects into film festivals. People make what do they make? The GoFundMe's and all that stuff, the Kickstarters.
Trying to raise money.
You know what I'm saying? To put it all together yourself. You don't have to go the industry route because, man, I don't know. I don't want to discourage anyone either. That's your dream and that's what you want to do, go do it.
It's tough.
Yeah. Just be careful. Just be careful who you deal with in that industry.
What do you feel? What do you feel about the difference between going to the majors and going independent, like for backing? Like do you feel like, because back then, well, now the independent route is so common now. Like everybody wants to go the independent.
Yep.
But back then, like, do you still feel like you still need the majors though? Like somehow, some way for backing?
I wouldn't say for backing, more so for platform. right?
Like more of a worldwide.
Yeah, more of a reach. See, you don't need to, because people don't talk about ownership, and people, when you do talk about it, people feel the type of way because, I had a friend of mine. He was from Atlanta, and we were talking about QC, quality control, right? And we were just saying like it's a label, and he was saying he has family that works with them and everything. And I was like, well, yeah, but any project that person puts out under QC, they own it. Well, no, he has millions of dollars in this and this and that and that. I'm like, well, yeah, I know, but does he own that? You know what I mean? He's signed to that label, so they own. Man, you can't own a boss. You can't own a boss. You can't own. I'm like, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm saying the way it works is when you sign up with this group, this label, right, this machine, they are putting out a product, and you are that product. I mean, that's how it is. And so it's all about ownership, right? So it's like whatever you own, when you put it out, you get the result of it.
Wow.
If you don't fully own it, and you put on the dotted line, with or without a lawyer or whatever, right, that they are going to take care of this and this and that, they own it. Part of it, most of it, whatever, and they probably own you,
right.
So it's just, you got to just be careful with that.
And that's the thing about the independent route now, especially with YouTube and all that, is like you have an opportunity to own your own content.
Exactly.
That's your catalog. See, that's what people like, they don't understand. Like, they think like catalog is like music catalog, but it's like, no, a YouTube platform, that's your catalog right there too.
Yep.
That you own that, you can own that content.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just the business savvy part of it too. Cause and that's another thing too. There's a lot of creative people out there who just focus on being creative and their art, but don't really take the time to learn the business.
Yeah.
And a lot of that too, it's like you said earlier, it's a dangerous combination when you got someone who can do the creative thing and is business savvy too.
Yep.
That's why like guys like, like Jay-Z is what he is. You know what I mean? Like Master P was what he was, because he was both. He had a vision with the creative thing and what he did on the business side. Like that stuff is so important, and it's just like, why not learn both? If you're in this business, learn the business.
Right.
Just don't learn how to, develop your craft or to put your craft out there. Learn how things move and maneuver in the back, because that can make you or break you.
Bro, yeah, shout out to my boy B-Boy Nesto, man, Nest A6. What up, baby? He showed me, he has this book talking about that, about the music, and he was like, yeah, every artist should read this book.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot the name of it, sorry, but he it talks literally about that, like learning, you're a dope MC, yeah, you got a good following, yeah, you're this and that, but the business side of it, you gotta know too,
It's important, man, because like you said, like most of the industry stories you hear is, oh, I got ripped off, or I got screwed over by management, or this and that. It's like, hey, but you sign these contracts.
Right.
They sign these contracts, and they get stuck with, the bad end of the deal. But it's like, you guys should have learned the business before you jump in.
Yeah, man. Yep.
But
read everything.
But I'm excited, man. Like I'm excited for everything that you got going on. Real quick before we go, plug in the Play It Loud show. What days is it going to drop? When is the new season dropping? Where can they find it? What to expect on the Play It Loud show? Like any type of upcoming episodes, or like go ahead and plug that in.
So Play It Loud is going to be dropping I think the first week of April. So look out for that. Look out for the BeatStars, my BeatStars page. That's almost up all the way. That's gonna be dope too.
What's the BeatStars? What's the BeatStars?
BeatStars, it's a website. I got some stuff on there now, but I'm gonna fully launch it like in a couple weeks. But I said that to go back to what you're saying about Play It Loud. Just making beats this go around. So we used to feature artists. We used to feature, singers, MCs, and all these different talented people. Now it's just strictly producers. So shout out to the homie Nate. Shout out to Johnny Cash. They were already visited on there. You visited before, but we're gonna actually make something.
Yeah,
we made something last time too.
Yeah.
But I want to incorporate the turntables.
Yeah.
That's something we gotta hold off on that for a little bit. But yeah, we got some guests coming up. All musicians, guitar players, drummers, keyboardists, pianists. It doesn't matter what instrument you play. hit me up. We're gonna create right there on the spot. I wouldn't say live yet. The plan is to go live. We'll be on Instagram Live, YouTube Live, but in the meantime, it'll be edited and put together. We're just working with producers and musicians, man, and making it right there on the spot. So youtube.com/Take That Pro. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram, King DT Star Soul. And yeah, I'll drop little things here and there on TikTok and IG. But yeah, we're coming out for April, and a lot of them we're doing now is getting ready for the Back in the Day event.
Shout out to N-Dub.
Yeah, what up, baby? That's April 27th. So we have a couple of episodes that are gearing up towards that. You got to just check it out, man. I'm not going to give it away too much, but yeah, that's what the Play It Loud show is about. Play it loud. It doesn't matter if if you play the violin or the accordion or whatever. You play hip hop, play rock and roll, play it loud. I support it. We support it. So that's what the show is all about, man.
Dope, man. I'm excited for that because, like I said, I had the honor to be on that show.
Yeah.
And it was a dope experience because we're there just chilling like this, vibing out.
Yeah.
And then you got your drum machine there.
Yeah.
And we pull a little sample and we just start, hitting the drums and putting a little beat together. You jump on the keys and do your thing. And I'm like, see, this is dope. You know what I mean? Because this is like real for just people who just like to create.
Yeah,
man. And
that
tell their story
and
tell their story at the same time.
Right.
So I love it, man. Dope, but appreciate you, man, for being here and, just for being part of, this movement and this vision. And thank you for being just a great partner, since we linked up. Like, I'm looking forward to everything that we have going on. Shout out to Jay Legacy. Shout out to DJ Nesto. Shout out to Queen G. You know what I mean?
What up?
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Like, you guys already know what's up. This is High Def. And shout out to everybody out here that's just being productive. That's just doing the damn thing.
Right.
But we support everybody and everybody that's doing something. There is no competition out here in my eyes.
That's right.
I want all of us to collab. Let's all collab. Let's all get together. Let's be on each other's platforms and let's just share each other's fan base, man. Let's make this thing move, man.
Yeah, seriously, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's here for. And shout out to the Chop Shop. Y'all stay tuned and check out more
shirt,
of the.
Man,
look.
They got big chop. You got big chops right here. Big chops in the back.
Big chops. Hey, and the animated one is too. It shakes, right?
Which one?
The video one.
Yeah.
He's all doing it. That's hard.
Yeah,
man.
I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy with big chops. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, man, appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here on this episode.
Of course,
and
man.
this
Thanks
is
for having
King.
me,
This
bro.
is King DT, yo.
Yes, sir.
Look out for this cat. You're gonna see him around a lot.
Kingdom Dynasty, baby.
That's right, man. Don't forget to like, share, give us a comment and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And this show, the audio is going to be on Spotify and all the platforms. Look out for that. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in.